me, lads and lovelies. Captain Edward von Arkham here, coming to you from on board the MHS Hysteria. It's that time again, duckies. Time for Madman of the Month. I love that. This month, the Madman couldn't be more prestigious. Raise your fists and salute, for this month I honor Emperor Justinian Stanislaus, the only authority that I even come close to respecting, guardian of the multiverse and sovereign ruler of the Red Fork Empire, and a man with nearly as many voices in his head as I. The Emperor's story is difficult to tell because no one really knows where it begins. Not much is known about the man who was called Justinian Stanislaus, where he came from, when he was born, what his favorite ice cream flavor was. Nobody knows. All that is known is that he was present at the beginning of the multiverse, what some call Event 2, and what those of the Empire call the Red Fork Event. Justinian was there. He describes seeing nothing but a blinding red light, a spark that caused the universe to diverge into two parallel dimensional timelines, creating the multiverse. After that, Justinian became the Emperor. His purpose? To watch over the multiverse and defend his empire from the dull, a ruthless and devastating void-spawned plague that attacks the mind and destroys its imagination centers. Justinian fights a war against the oppression of the unreal, ruling over his empire with an iron fist. Literally, he holds a powerful cosmic weapon known as the Will of the People. This unstoppable gauntlet is rumored to be made from a universal substance obtained from the Red Fork Event, described as being forged in the heart of suns and cooled with the tears of long-forgotten gods. Although the fist is wielded by Justinian, it belongs to the citizens of the Empire. I got to use it once. That was the best game of rock, paper, scissors I have ever played. The Red Fork event is still happening. New universes are still being created, the multiverse ever expanding. Every action has an alternate action which creates an alternate dimensional timeline. And when a new universe is created, so is there created a new emperor. Justinian's timeline diverges just as the multiverse does, creating new and separate versions of himself. He loses track of where and or when he has and hasn't been. He is often known to suffer from delusions or flashbacks/forwards. Hence his multiple incarnations are often in chaotic conflict. It is unknown how many there are exactly. Only 5 are known to have been identified. The 5 emperors are contained in spatial relevance by 5 Imperial interdimensional seals. The first incarnation is Rookfinger, a pleasant and charismatic fellow, and the people's favorite. Heaps of fun to be around. He is fond of croquet and tea parties. Rookfinger lives in blissful ignorance, as he is unaware of the existence of the other 4 emperors. No one is allowed to talk about them in front of him. The second emperor is Booth. A strict and militaristic incarnation, he runs the empire like an army. And unlike Rookfinger, he has no sense of humor. Until I met Booth, I didn't think it was possible to not find a rubber chicken amusing. He has a zealous conviction towards the eradication of the dull, as well as combating part of himself. For Booth is in perpetual conflict with the third emperor, Tobias. Tobias is really creepy. He is a sinister, sadistic, serpentine sociopath. There used to be thousands of emperors until Tobias started killing them off. He is locked in a constant internal struggle against Booth. A struggle that creates a great deal of noise in his head, which does not make it easy on the 4th emperor, Peanut. Poor unfortunate Peanut. He can hear all of them shouting in his mind. Not a pretty picture. Trust me, I know. Having that many voices in one's head can drive one mad with fear, or with rage. As is the case with the 5th emperor, Hyde. A primal entity of pure savage impulse. He can also hear all of the other emperors, but his madness is much more destructive than Peanut's. He can be assuaged with liquor, but it is best to avoid him. And as different as they are, all 5 are part of the same man, the mighty sovereign of the Red Fork Empire. And to honor him, I shall now sing the Red Fork Imperial Anthem, accompanied by the voices in my head. Ready, everyone?
Ready.
Yes.
Aye! All rise! God save our Emperor, mighty and powerful, with his of iron. He will crush everyone under his mighty thumb. Red Fork eternal one, our Emperor. Well done, all. Scottish voice, I think you were a tad early on the 4th verse.
Bugger off!
Ah, well, that's our time for today. I'm going to go bang this tuning fork against something and stick it in Litton's ear. Until next time, stay mad, my duckies. Welsh voice, why weren't you singing?
I'm a communist.
What?